Time, weather,
You're listening to the Radio is Dead podcast.
Welcome to the Radio is Dead podcast. We are your hosts, Nutter and Kevin. How's it going, Kevin?
It's going good, man. I'm excited to be here. It's our pilot episode, and we're thrilled to be here with you guys. We launched a trailer last week.
Yeah, that was very exciting. You know, we got a couple hits on that. I'm glad to see, we're getting a little response from the people listening.
Yeah, it's great. And, we now have an official Instagram page, Radio is Dead _podcast.
Yeah.
Until we can get the trademark and steal the... that'll take a little while,
Yeah,
though.
it's a work in progress.
Yeah. And then beyond that, you can check us out at radioisdead.com. And you can listen to us wherever it is you want to listen to us. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. We're on Amazon Music. We're on Pandora, Deezer. I don't know. There's like 100.
There's a plethora of
Yes.
different outlets you can reach us on.
I've never heard a lot of them.
Or, well, listen to us on, not reach us on. But you can always reach us directly, as Kevin gave you that info. And, if you got something cool you want to add to the show, we're open for discussion,
Yep, but once again, we really just want to thank you guys for being here today. Oh,
wow.
For the pilot episode.
That's great. I'm glad we have, our listeners in audience today. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I think, so one thing we want to get you guys up to speed on, I know we touched on this a little bit in the preview episode.
The trailer.
The trailer.
Ooh.
But, what could you expect from the Radio is Dead podcast? Well, one thing you don't have to expect is commercials, because we have no sponsors yet.
Not yet, but we're willing to bring them on, you know?
And we'll make good commercials. We're not going to be like that boring radio stuff that people are used to. But, honestly, I think people can expect the unexpected.
Yeah, we're going to be doing cool videos, interviews, reviews. We're going to hit up some concerts, events. We're going to talk about products. We're going to maybe talk about some food and review some restaurants.
And maybe occasionally we'll get into the occasional conundrum, if you will.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. That name, the occasional conundrum, years ago, that was the original title Nutter and I came up with for the podcast.
Yeah, well, it's funny because we actually ripped it off from a little show called Better Call Saul when he mentioned the occasional conjugal.
Yeah.
So we ran with that for a little bit as an idea, and then it morphed to the occasional conundrum, but then we decided to scrap it all together, come up with the Radio is Dead podcast name, and we decided to bring the occasional conundrum as somewhat of a segment,
Yeah, I think it'll be a occasionally recurring segment.
Now, it could be something we've done ourselves, something we've seen in the public on social media or something like that, or if you have a conundrum you'd like us to kind of discuss and maybe give you a little advice on it, we're open for that too.
Yeah, or maybe you have a friend of a friend of an uncle of a friend.
Yeah, and you can be completely anonymous. We're not going to sit there and call you out or,
Yeah, no, we're just having fun, and we are not therapists, nor should you take any semblance of serious advice from us.
But we are listening. And we're glad you are too.
But we are listening, just like Fraser Crane. Yep. So, yeah, that's kind of a little bit of it. I think, like we said at the begin with, you can expect the unexpected, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of, we're going to get a little weird from time to time. The next episode we'll have our first guest who we'll reveal later on in this episode.
Nice. Looking forward to that.
Yep. What else? So I guess some people, those of you may not, some of you might know Nutter, some of you might know me, some of you might know both of us.
Some of you might not know any of us.
Yeah, and that's fine. And actually, that's probably better for you.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
But at the end of the day, so we met in school.
Ah, yes, university.
Yes, university, yes.
As a trade school, let's be fair. But no, that's where we met. We both kind of wanted to change our lives and head in a different direction. I was doing landscaping, lawn service at the time, did that for, 15, 16 years. And I was just tired of it, I don't know how I did it in this summer heat, because going outside now, you walk 2 steps, you're in a full-blown sweat.
It's gross out.
But, so, one night I came home and I was just, totally down on myself. And I was like, I need to do something different with my life. And So I decided to take the venture into getting a start in the radio industry, and went to school for that. Got hired at a radio station in the promotions department. Did that for a while, set up tents, passed out prizes, you name it, we did it. Yeah. I started at the bottom.
Yeah.
And
everybody goes through it. We don't mean it with disrespect.
Then slowly worked my way onto the production side of things. Started producing little brokered shows, we like to call them. Did some work with the morning radio stations, answered phones, helped with contests.
I remember once upon a time, one of those brokered shows I would call into, and you would know I was calling, but we would kind of prank one of the hosts.
Yeah, the hosts.
Yeah,
they didn't know.
The hosts with the most.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say they had the most, but anyway.
I eventually revealed it to them, but we'll get into that another time.
So then, working my way up through the production side, I eventually came on as a producer for an afternoon drive show. Did that for a few years. Things got situated. People changed and went different ways. And I later became a co-host. That didn't pan out too well. Kind of got the cold shoulder from the radio station. They kept me on, which was cool, and I had a little bit of work. It wasn't exactly paying the bills because we all know working in radio, it really doesn't pay the best.
The best. It's like a hobby.
It was a hobby.
You can't even afford a carton of cigarettes after a week at a radio station.
That's why I quit smoking. But yeah, that kind of worked out for a little bit, but it was time for change, so I ended up doing some television broadcast, and here I am.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. So I guess now I have to get into my side. So like Nutter, I had a little foray in radio. Now, I was doing camera operations since, I don't know, I was like 19, 20 years old, and
right.
I guess I wanted a little bit more out of it.
Yeah, as we all do.
Yeah, that's what they say. And so that's what led me to going to school and meeting our, good friend Nutter here.
I was the class clown, by the way.
Yeah, I was the class jackass.
Fair.
Yeah. That's why we got along.
I think so.
That's also why we're the two that actually have careers.
The instructors hated us. I think my voice just...
It's it.
Let me clear my throat.
Nutter's becoming a man today.
Yeah, I finally hit puberty after 43 years.
It's great.
Ooh, I'm getting hair.
In his Randy Marsh shirt.
Well, they can't see us. I want them to think, I'm dressed to the nines. You don't have to call me out on my
my
outfit.
bad. Nutter's alter ego basically is Randy Marsh, though.
True.
To some degree.
Sharon?
Yeah, exactly. He's not a geologist. But,
No.
And he doesn't grow pot either, but...
No comment. Just kidding.
But yeah, so I went to school with an interest in furthering my television career, which I did. I also fell into radio for a little bit. I was a...
that must have hurt.
Yeah, it did actually. I was a DJ for a bit on a rock station, which yeah, there's no discs or jockeys involved nowadays, but you press buttons on laptops and computers mostly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun though. Like Nutter mentioned about the money, it really, you're not doing it for the money. It is a lot of fun. I think part of the radio's not dead. We understand that. We have a lot of friends that work in radio.
Former colleagues that, I'd give the shirt off my back, and they would probably do the same.
Yeah, maybe.
It might not fit, but here's my shirt.
Yeah, that's okay.
Might not smell that great either, but here's my shirt.
And one person in particular probably has a stain on his shirt, but we're not going to mention who that is.
But...
That's what he tells us, at least. But yeah, we're just going to kind of, my foray in radio, I had a lot of fun, interviewed a lot of artists, got to go to a lot of shows. The perks in radio are phenomenal.
That's what made it one of the things that was worth it to me, is the perks.
Yeah, definitely. And, it was a lot of fun. It didn't really, just I think in rock and roll radio, and I'm a huge music fan, for those of you that don't know, and for those of you that know me, you already are well aware of that.
Yeah, we're well aware.
But I think a lot of the reason radio is just not as great as it used to be is, dude, they're playing the same music.
Oh, it's the same 10 songs every hour or whatever.
It's the same stuff they were playing 25 years ago on the Buzz.
You're basically
barely changed.
Yeah, you're listening to commercials with songs in between. That's the magic of radio.
Yeah, it's more accurate. It was weird though. Like I had this like program director that was like a hair metal kind of burnout kind of guy. He was really nice and everything, but like I don't. We were playing music that just didn't make sense to me. We were playing like hair metal, and we're like, yeah, we're like a modern rock station. And I'm like, why are we playing?
Most of those program directors are old school, and they know it all, and they're they don't change. They're not looking for change. They're by the book. What needs to be played or what's they're told to play, it gets played.
They're told to play it,
and nothing else.
This is a fact. They're definitely told to play it because I remember I had pitched an artist, and then he went, "Oh, they're a little edgy for us." And then like a month later, a record label told him to play the artist or something. Somebody emailed him and said, "Hey, play this," and the next day we were playing it. Yeah. I'm like, wow, look at that. We could have been a month ahead of the curve.
It was
there.
Someone more important than you.
Oh yeah, well, Well, it was funny because we were like a meeting once, and
did you give him that kind of "I told you so" look?
I probably did, yeah.
I can see that.
I remember once we were at a meeting, and they were like, "Oh, this is our demographic: young people from 25 to 40, and they make between 40 and 125 a year." And one of the other DJs turns around and goes, "So Kevin's our demographic," and the program director goes, "No."
Well, that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, that just never made any sense. It's kind of funny, though. But, anywho. But my television career is great. I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of great friends. And we'll get some of them on here, too.
Yeah.
I think...
But, you're going to ask yourself, or you're going to at least ask us, why a podcast? We want to have the freedom to do whatever we want, whenever we want. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We just want our own platform. We don't want to be told what to do. We like making content, videos. We like doing all sorts of stuff, and we don't want anybody holding us back.
Yeah, I think that's a good description. At the end of the day, I don't think, us being on a leash doesn't really work for us very well.
Yeah, I already got that at home. I don't need that.
Well, I thought you enjoyed that at home.
Well, I didn't say I disliked it.
Oh, well, nice.
Thanks for it.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, we enjoy making content. We want to get out there with you guys. We're going to shoot some videos, and maybe people will catch us at the Offspring concert next month.
That's very likely. I may not attend the show, but I will be there before the show.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see. I already know
one
the
thing
answer.
will lead to another.
No, one thing won't lead to another.
But yeah, I think we don't enjoy reporting to people, and I think it's the best platform for us because we can do anything. Yeah. And if you have ideas, things for us to talk about, things for us to film, things for us to do, places for us to go, hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah,
Instagram.
food for us to try. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go for it anytime.
I'm just saying new restaurants, television shows, movies, documentaries. If you want to let us know, hey, go check this out. We'll check it out, and if it's good, we'll talk about it.
If it's not good, we'll talk about it, too.
I think I like those conversations better.
Yeah, those might be fun. And yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Nutter's also the meme master, so as we get underway here, Nutter's going to start building us some gnarly memes. We'll be able to see those on our
I don't know if meme master
Instagram
is the right word for that.
It's a bunch of nonsense. This guy has like memes for like every person I know.
Well, they're more like Photoshops, but I don't like to toot my own horn.
Isn't a Photoshop like a meme, basically, though?
Meme's a little different, I think.
I don't know. My mom calls them memes.
I'll have to look up the memeing. Meaning. There you go.
Miming.
I'm not a pantomime.
You're not a what?
Pantomime, the guy that's like stuck in the box.
You're not going to pantomime. Yeah.
Oh, pantomime. I thought it was pantomime.
Yeah, the mime is pantomiming.
Pantomiming. Huh. You learn something new every day. See, listening to the show is very educational.
Yeah, because Kevin's full of useless facts. Maybe that could be another segment, Kevin's useless facts.
I think that's a great idea.
Actually, it's not bad. What else? What are some other great reasons to listen to the podcast here, Nutter?
Well, besides the entertainment value, you're going to get a lot of our opinions on certain things, and if we can steer you in a certain direction. Not that we're necessarily trying to, but say there's something out that you're interested in, and we cover it, and we'll kind of fill in the details for you, so to speak.
This is breaking. I think it's time for These Nuts in the News.
Nutter, what just happened?
Well, Kevin, it's time to bust these nuts in the news.
Yeah.
Hello, listeners, and thanks for tuning in. I'm John Nutter. Here's a quick look at some very odd stories from around the country. Starting off in Pennsylvania, we have the Delco Pooper. Delaware County, Pennsylvania. That makes sense. It does?
Delco, Delaware County.
Oh, okay. Well, as one local resident summed it up, it's just another day in Delco. When road rage and digestion collide, you get one of the most foul freeway feuds in Pennsylvania history. Well, that's a mouthful. 44-year-old
Giggity.
Christina Solomento, now known far and wide as the Delco Pooper, was arrested after a bizarre roadside incident that started off with a typical driving disagreement and ended with a biohazard on someone's hood.
A typical driving disagreement certainly doesn't have a typical ending, I can tell you.
Well, not like this one. Solomento believed she was being followed by another vehicle, and rather than call 911 or pull over to clarify, her response was caught on camera when she chose a far more explosive form of communication. She exited her vehicle, dropped trow, and defecated directly on the hood of the other woman's car, then strolled back to her car grinning like she had just won the lottery.
Now, Nutter, let me ask you a question here real quick.
Okay.
Now, have you ever had to take a crap so bad in public that you just took a crap in public?
Well, in a toilet, I wouldn't go outside on the street or something.
So what would have to get you aggravated enough to get you to do something like that?
Possibly some road rage.
Possibly some road rage?
I don't know. I'm not arguing with her here.
So you're saying you're a little bit of a road rager?
Not really. I'm more calm, cool, and collective when I'm on the roads. You know, there's a lot of crazies out there, and I try to avoid encountering them.
Fair.
So, anyway, this was no ordinary number 2, Kevin. Reports described it as liquid feces, which raises more questions than we are emotionally prepared to ask.
So this was a go or not situation for her either way.
It was like shit or get off the pot, so to speak.
Yeah.
Solomento now faces...
Shit or get out of the car.
Well, Solomento now faces charges of indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, and a delightfully specific Pennsylvania crime of depositing waste on the freeway.
Now, first of all, how often does this happen in PA that they have a law for this?
Well, according to one local resident, it's just another day in Delco, so I imagine it's an everyday occasion.
Delco's starting to sound kind of shitty to me, so.
Well, it's not the best place in the world. Well,
I mean, geez. So, listeners, tell us in the comments section, write to us, let us know, how bad have you ever had to go?
and would you ever resort to this if you were road raging with someone? Because I'd be afraid of catching a stray.
I mean, honestly, and that's the other question is, if you were driving down the street and now Nutter has a Challenger, which is...
It's just your run-of-the-mill Dodge product, Mopar.
That's the most mild way that Nutter could ever describe that car.
No.
Nutter is ultra protective of his car. It's like having a third child for him.
It is my baby.
But so if you were in Delco County that day, and this woman got out and popped a squat and took a liquid feces crap on the hood of your pristine Challenger, your baby, how do you react to that?
First, I start laying on the horn. Then I call the police. And then if she's still there, I don't know what I'm doing, dude. I don't know how I would react in that situation, honestly. I'd definitely be looking for the nearest car wash.
Yeah, for sure. But she's on the hood of your car. Like, do you step on the gas?
I'm not trying to mow anyone down.
As soon as she steps on the hood of your car, I see you just lose. I don't see you sitting on the horn. I see you losing it.
Well, I don't know. I haven't been in that situation, or should I call it a shit-situation?
A situation.
But hopefully I never am.
All right, so what other nuts do you have in the news today?
Well, let's take it over to Slidell, Louisiana, where we call this one 50 Sheds of Lowe's.
Oh, boy, this sounds fun.
Customers at a Lowe's in Slidell, Louisiana, got more than they bargained for during a weekend hardware run where a man was discovered testing out one of the store display sheds, Kevin.
Testing it out. So he was like putting some rakes in it?
No. He was testing it out a little too enthusiastically, so to speak.
Oh.
Store employees called police after a shopper reported a suspicious man doing something unholy in shed number 4. Officers arrived with tasers drawn and found the man inside, mid-act, pants around his ankle, a tub of Vaseline within arm's reach, and a mobile device playing where he later claimed it was just YouTube videos. Well, I don't know about that.
YouTube videos?
I think there was a hub in there somewhere along the lines. We here at Radio is Dead recommend that all hardware stores everywhere install a new sign reading, "Display sheds. Please look. Don't touch yourself." No word yet on whether the shed will be discounted and marked as gently used.
Now, I have a few questions.
Sure.
He's not used. This isn't like the Jackass thing where they went in the hardware store and took a crap in the toilet.
No, he was just there, and outside of any hardware store, usually see
in the garden section.
Yeah, display
or even
sheds.
out front.
Yeah, so there's probably 6 or 7 sheds. He just picked shed number 4. He was feeling a little randy. So
don't they usually like screw those shut though?
I don't think so. You want to kind of go in and look.
Oh.
Well, he went in and looked, and he probably thought there in that moment, like, hey, this is the perfect spot to rub one out at.
Now, you said he had a tub of Vaseline.
That is correct.
Now, when you say tub, I'm thinking something from, like, Costco.
No, I don't think it was that big. Probably, like, I don't know, something you, like, use for your chapped lips.
I mean, how much do you really need, though? Like, a thimblefuls. And
just a dabble.
Only a white guy is dumb enough to do that, so I know it's not going to be that much.
All right. Well, keeping it moving forward.
And I can't get the discount on the shed. We don't know that yet.
Well, you can go try, but I'm not driving all the way up to Slidell, Louisiana.
Should we call them and ask? That would be pretty fun to insert here.
Be like, hey, I really want that shed,
but I don't want to pay full price.
I want a discount.
Do I get a scratch and dent on that?
Just as long as it's not a scratch and sniff.
Do I get a stain and sniff?
Anyway, moving on, we're going to head over to Ocala, Florida. It's not every day you see a 63-year-old man using a gas pump to prepare for a very different kind of fuel up. Meet Edmund Joseph Claremont IV, who was arrested at a local racetrack gas station after fellow customers witnessed him doing something, well, let's just say it's not what you expect to see when you pull up to a gas pump.
John, I have to interject here. You know where I knew there was going to be a problem here?
Where's that, Kevin?
As soon as you told me his name was Edmund Joseph Claremont IV, I know that's and he said it's in Florida, so we know we got some backwoods, mom is my sister kind of guy here.
Well, Claremont, in all his unfiltered glory, was found completely naked, yes, completely naked, at the pump with his penis pump attached to him.
Oh, penis pump?
Yes.
So this guy thinks he's fucking Austin Powers or something
I don't know
that?
about that.
That's not my bag, baby.
Gas station employees, understandably perplexed and perhaps mildly traumatized, approached the man to ask what exactly was going on. In his response, Claremont did what any person would do in his situation. He hopped back into his truck and sped away.
Now, none of the way you say that sounds like you've been in this situation before.
No, I don't really use penis pumps. I've never had a use for them, but I do pump gas.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, police quickly caught up with the getaway vehicle. Once pulled over, they found Claremont, surprise, surprise, still naked as a jaybird, putting his clothes back on as if nothing happened. Upon further inspection, a black and clear penis pump was found in the passenger seat, snug in a plastic bag, I guess for like discretion purposes, you don't want nobody seeing that, alongside with an open container of, get this, Budweiser.
Oh, I'm surprised it wasn't a PBR.
Claremont was arrested and charged with exposure of sexual organs and perhaps more seriously, refusing to obey law enforcement. Next time, Edmund, just pay at the pump.
I feel like the bigger crime is definitely, using a penis pump in public.
Well, apparently he was just there to meet a lady friend who he...
a lady friend?
Yeah, he was going to have...
was that a lady of the night?
I don't know. They never specified that, but he stated he was there to meet a female friend for some sexual encounter. And
so, yeah, definitely a lady of the night.
It probably was. I wonder how much he got charged
If
for
anybody knows this guy, we'd love to have him on our show.
that. Well, that's these nuts in the news in a nutshell.
So, Nutter, how's your summer so far? What have you and the wife been getting into?
Well, we went up to Asheville, North Carolina a couple weeks ago, just for a couple days, nothing major.
Great place.
Oh, fabulous place. And when I told Kevin about this, he gave me a whole itinerary of things to do, places to visit, restaurants to try. You know, it's a shame to see what happened to Asheville after the last hurricane came through and devastated most of the area.
Yeah.
Still a lot of debris and places and stuff that was torn up, but there were still a lot of things to do. We had a lot of fun. Got to hit up Rocky's Hot Chicken, which you recommended, and
Oh, delicious. The best.
Might I say it was both of those things, delicious and the best. And I did take your advice. I went with the mild.
Yeah, the mild, I mean, for me, that's enough.
Oh, that was definitely enough. I couldn't have went any hotter. Like, how do you even enjoy food when it's that hot?
Some people just like it, you know, but it's just not for me. What sides did you get?
Oh, I got the greens, the collard greens, which were spot on, delicious. You know, I love a good collard green. They're hard to find. I can't cook them myself. But if they're on the menu at a certain restaurant or any place I go, I'll try them.
At a southern restaurant.
Yeah, well, yeah. And what else did I have? The coleslaw. I'm a big coleslaw fan. I know a lot of people don't like it. I happen to love it, and it was all right. It wasn't as good as the greens, but the chicken tenders, spot on. My wife ended up going with like a Cobb salad or something like that, and then as a side, she got one single chicken strip, but she got it plain. She doesn't do the spicy thing. We went downtown, hit up that area a little bit, saw a lot of the shops and stuff like that. A couple restaurants down there. Well, a lot of hippies, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a great thing for Asheville. I love they do the drum circles in the middle of downtown.
Dirty hippies.
I mean, a lot of the hippies in Asheville, they're really nice people, and even the homeless people there. It's not like homeless people in most other towns where you're like, we don't want to encounter them. They leave you alone.
Yeah, that I did notice that. There was one strange thing I saw.
And there's like a banjo player on every street corner.
Well, there was one. He was just playing an acoustic guitar this time, but there was a homeless man, and he had a cat with him. Now, a lot of
Probably
times,
a nice guy.
Well, he probably was. A lot of times I see homeless people and they got their cat or their dog with them. And to me, sometimes I know they're part of your family. It's all that. But if you're down on your luck, why would you necessarily want to bring... The dog could go find a better life somewhere else. So could that cat, you know? But I just thought that was very strange. I've never seen a homeless guy with a cat before.
Definitely odd, but I mean... I can't say I've ever seen a homeless guy with a cat. I've definitely seen some homeless folks with dogs.
But, yeah.
Cats kind of fend for themselves too, and I mean, they could just, maybe he gets a little something and he feeds it and it hangs out with him. And,
yeah, maybe it was like one of those support animals,
Yeah, that could be, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah, Asheville's a great place, though. I know Nutter's not big into concerts like I am, but I love the Orange Peel up there. I love going to see a good show there. I've seen Gojira there. I've seen Brittany Howard. Actually, I think it was the debut, her first couple of solo shows when she became a solo artist were there.
Nice.
Trying to think what else comes to mind off the top of my head, but that Gojira show was really memorable. Quite the show. And it's just a wonderful concert venue. Great sound. And it's right next to Wicked Weed Brewery, which is great as well. We
passed that place. We almost went in, but they were just opening. They were sitting some people down, and then we were just kind of like waiting. And I was like, all right, we should have stayed. We ended up going to a Brazilian restaurant. And
Brazilian in Asheville?
Yeah, one of those where you have the little chip on the table where you flip it over to red or green, depending on if you want food. They come around, they carry those... I forget what they're called. They're basically a sword.
Swords?
Yeah. And when we went there, the guy's like, oh, have you ever been here? I'm like, no, but I know the whole, churrasco Brazilian-style restaurant, and my wife is Brazilian. Mm-hmm. So we go there, salad bar, phenomenal. Vegetables, salads, rice, beans, you name it. They had it, cheeses, meats, And then it comes time for the entrees or the swords with the meat, and it all sucked. It's like they didn't know how to season it. I like cooking picanha Brazilian style. I do a hell of a job, if I don't say so for myself, at home. I felt like I should have went back there and showed them how to properly salt and season your meat
Giggity.
before serving it, because it was just very bland, and we left there with a bad taste in our mouth.
That really surprises me, though, because Asheville's a heck of a food town. They have some of the best restaurants.
Well, it was funny. Me and my wife were leaving, and I'm like, yeah, I bet a lot of these locals are like, oh, that's some great Brazilian food, because they don't really have a good idea on what it's really like. Yeah.
It's not like that Rocky's hot chicken place where it blew your socks off, huh?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And that was the mild.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine going to medium or hot. Oh my God, my butthole would hate me.
Now, you guys didn't have time to hit up any good barbecue or anything?
No, not really. We did go to one place called the Village Pub, I believe. It was kind of like an old barn that they had turned into like a bar slash. You get kind of bar food at it. I had a burger there. It was excellent. My wife had a pulled pork sandwich. She liked it. We had some onion rings and French fry. And I had a beer there. Nothing crazy, just your everyday run-of-the-mill, Coors Light, what have you. But it was still a great place, great environment. The people are super nice there.
Oh, yeah.
I would definitely recommend going back. And I would like to actually visit Asheville again once they rebuild a little,
Yeah, I know West Asheville, which is like the arts district near the French Broad River. That's really the place that took a brunt of the damage.
Yeah, they took a good beating.
Yeah, and then all of like West Asheville as well. There's a lot of great stuff out there. New Belgium has a brewery out there. The people that make the Fat Tire.
Fat Tire, that's a delicious beer.
Yeah, they got a brewery like right on the river. I know that place got messed up. I don't know. I hope they're probably back open by now. I would hope that place has the funding to get the place back open somewhat quickly. Yeah. There's some great concert venues on that side as well of town that got kind of got their asses handed to them, unfortunately. But hopefully they'll rebuild. I haven't been up there in a few years. Stephanie and I have actually been talking about heading up there maybe, around October or something. It gets beautiful out that time of year up
Definitely
there, so.
Highly recommended by both of us. And Kevin, what did you end up getting into so far this summer?
So far, let's see. So, well, we're gonna do some home renovation at some point here.
I have a honey-do list. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I have things piled on that I haven't got to yet, but go ahead.
Well, we're probably gonna redo the floors at some point. But as far as fun stuff, I don't know where the hell Slidell, Louisiana, with that special Lowe's, but we actually went down to New Orleans back. That was not really summer, but the end of April for Jazz Fest.
Oh, cool.
So I always wanted to go to Jazz Fest, and we only really did one day at the festival itself, but we went to a lot of the big thing there is it's not like a normal music festival where you're there till 2 or 3 in the morning. The last act is over at like 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
And then you leave, and then you go to, New Orleans has some of the best concert venues in the country, and every place has a different genre of music.
Now, is that where they do Mardi Gras?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I've always wanted to do that. That's actually on my bucket list.
We met some interesting people at one show I'll tell you about, and, I guess they have like a float at Mardi Gras, and they invited us to come up and be on their float.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Throw beads. Maybe we can do that next year.
That would be great. That'd make some good content, too.
Yeah, we could do like a live Radio is Dead live from Mardi Gras.
We'll get our own custom beads made.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
We could probably make the logo look kind of Mardi Gras. It would be pretty fun.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So, yeah, we went to a lot of these like after shows really was the big thing for us. We saw St. Paul and the Broken Bones. We saw Trampled by Turtles. One night we went to a lot of jazz clubs off of like Frenchman Street. Went to this place called Chicky Wawa. Caught this young up and coming kind of rock and roll blues guitar player, a little psychedelic. Her name's Grace Bowers and the Hodgepodge.
Chicky Wawa?
Yeah, that's the name of the venue, Chicky Wawa.
Sounds like a city in Florida.
It does actually, but it was kind of a bar, it was just kind of like a hole in the wall kind of spot.
Okay.
But the sound was good, and this girl, I think she's like 18 years old, from Nashville, and she just gets up and starts shredding.
Oh wow!
Just wearing it out, man. And that didn't even start until I don't know 1:30, 2 in the morning. I'm never up this late.
No, I know you're like you're like the early bird catches the worm. Got to go to bed early so I can get up early. I'm more of the night owl where I like to sleep in and then I'm up all hours of the night.
Yeah, but I can hang most of the time, and then after that, we actually caught a Black Sabbath funk tribute at I don't know 3 something and 4 in the morning.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, at 4 a.m. Black Sabbath funk tributes in New Orleans definitely get kind of interesting. I'll be the first to tell you.
Even I don't think I would have stayed up for the 4 a.m. show. I probably would have been a little tuckered out by then.
I was a little tuckered out by then, I'll tell you, and and they're an hour behind, so it's really like it's whatever. I don't even remember what time it was.
Right.
And then, of course, we the last night after Jazz Fest, we went to the Sanger Theater for the Trombone Shorty Treme Throwdown, which is...
oh, that sounds really interesting.
That was great, yeah. So Trombone Shorty, he plays the trombone.
Obviously, yeah.
If you're not aware.
Yeah.
He's from New Orleans.
Does he only play the trombone? Or
No, he played a trumpet, too.
Oh, that's cool.
And he sings a little bit.
I guess Trumpet Shorty doesn't really have the same ring to it as Trombone Shorty.
I agree. Yeah, it doesn't quite work. But yeah, it was a slew of special guests that night. Elvis Costello came out, Harry Connick Jr. came out.
Oh, cool.
Played all sorts of different music, and that's really just scratching the surface. And they do this every year, and he takes a lot of the proceeds and donates it to the Shorty Foundation that he runs, which helps get kids in local schools, instruments.
Oh, that's
and get them
awesome.
Music. Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's really
cool. But the concert itself is phenomenal. Honestly, I would go back just for that one concert again.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen St. Paul and the Broken Bones 100 times over, and they're always great. It was great to see them at Tipitina's finally. That was a bucket list item for me.
We're going to head up to Orlando in a couple weeks. We're going to do one of the theme parks. What's it called? Epcot. That's it. Epcot at night.
At night?
Yes.
Oh, so a little bit less disgusting out.
Yeah, I think they just started doing this or something, but you can go out there and you don't have to wait in lines and the sun beating on you. You can roam around, and what I like to do is drink around the world. That's always one of my favorite things. You kind of go through the different countries and all that and try the different beers or wines and stuff like that. That seems like a really good time to me.
We'll have to talk about this with next week's guest, my friend Spanish, who I used to be on the radio with. He's big into the theme parks. I bet he'll have a lot of good tips for you.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm not really big into theme parks. I don't like big crowds of people per se. And it's too damn hot. There's too many people. I'd rather just stay home.
I don't love big crowds of people either, I will say, but but I don't mind the big crowds from a spectator point of view because I just love people watching. Yeah, so some things, we're trying to figure out what our, next vacation should be this summer. We're talking about Asheville. We're talking about, New York. I've never done an all-inclusive type of thing.
Oh, I love those where you just go and you drink and eat and you don't have to worry about checks or nothing. Resorts are my favorite.
So you just go, and I've never done it. So is it fun?
Oh, yeah, it's tons of fun. And you can even get room service or bring the food back to your room. Usually we do someplace on a beach, so during the day we're either poolside or at the beach, and then we'll go hit up one of the nice restaurants they have. They have a lot of buffet-style food, too, of course. Usually when you're out at the pool, they got, food out there like burgers and hot dogs and nachos and what have you. Alcohol just flows. It's a great time.
No, I don't drink that much anymore. So is there lots of things to do? I want to go jet skiing or snorkeling. We're talking about getting our PADI, our scuba certifications, which could be a lot of fun.
That does sound like a lot of fun. I do like to scuba myself.
You've scuba'd? You have a PADI certification?
No, I do not. Let me rephrase that. I like to snorkel a lot. I like snorkeling. I've tried a scuba suit in a swimming pool before, with the whole mask and the tank in the
everything?
back. Yeah.
In a swimming pool.
In a swimming pool.
And how was that experience?
It was cool. I enjoyed it.
But you didn't want to get the whole certification?
Well, I was young. I was probably 15 years old. But
something you would maybe consider.
Possibly in the future. Yeah.
And what are your guys' summer plans? Tell us, what are you getting into this summer? What should I do? Because we're a little undecided. Should we do where do you go? It's like a sandals or something like that. That's what we were looking at.
No, we don't really do any of those sandal places. We usually go somewhere, Mexico or something like that, and just find a nice place. I can't remember each name of each resort.
And they're like adults only? You don't have like kids running around annoying you?
You can find adults only, or they section them off sometimes where there's like a family pool and then you have the adult pool.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, you can kind of pick and choose. I would definitely do my homework before you decide on anything right away and just see what each resort has to offer depending on where you want to go.
I think we should go to Italy. That's my thing. And, with the political climate these days, you don't really know what's going to happen. And I'm kind of like, we should probably go before.
Oh, I'd love to go to Italy. My wife's been there a bunch of times.
You guys should go. And then what we could do is we can organize a situation where, I'm walking out of a restaurant and you guys are sitting on the patio.
Oh.
And I'm like,
hey, Kevin!
Nutter!
What the hell? Yeah,
Who would have thunk? Yeah, I'll be single by the end of the day.
I would get in so much trouble. You knew Kevin was going to be in Italy?
No, I had no idea.
I didn't know. This is a coincidence. That's funny.
We'd go have some fun, though.
Oh, definitely.
They could go shopping. We'll go party. Where are you going? A vineyard.
I think they'd want to go for that.
Maybe, yeah.
That's too much.
It'd be pretty funny, though.
It would be hilarious. Just to see the expression on their faces.
I'd have to hire someone to film it, honestly.
Oh, that would be great.
Maybe we can bring Chris, too,
Oh, that would make it even better.
I missed it. Walk out again.
Do it over. Take two.
Take two. Chris is a friend of ours. He's a camera operator, and I'm trying to talk him into coming on the show at some point, and
that'd be nice. That'd be real nice.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great guy. And maybe he'll, if he's so kind, he'll help us shoot some Nutter and Kevin on the streets. The Radio is Dead is out to get you content. We haven't come up with a name for this yet.
Yeah, well, it's still in the works. It's still on the drawing board. We'll play with it a little. Pause.
that was revealing. Thank you.
We'll play with it a little, and we'll come up with something. We're pretty good at that thing.
Yeah, we are. So, you might have heard about this. So, the Nintendo Switch 2 just came out. When did that come out? Like last week?
Yeah, like a week ago.
So I guess in Staten Island, New York, the most lovely place on earth, for those of you that have never been there.
I haven't.
It's not.
Am I missing anything?
All the people from Jersey Shore are from Staten Island. That should kind of describe it.
Okay.
So the crew at a video game store there, or someplace that sells these things, obviously.
It was GameStop.
Oh, the people that... Yeah, all right, so the crew at a GameStop decided it would be a great idea to staple the receipts to the outside of the box. Now, this is for, the pre-orders, right?
Right, so a lot of people would come in, they'd pre-order, and they would
then when they come in, they get the receipt, and then they staple. Here's Nutter's Nintendo Switch 2. Here's Kevin's Nintendo Switch 2. And I guess the packaging on these things isn't much to talk about because the staple went all the way through and actually damaged the screens on the brand new consoles.
That is correct.
So that must have been pretty upsetting, I guess, for the people that pre-ordered them. I know some of these people, at least a third of them are probably, just taking it and reselling it.
Oh, I would have been pissed. That's like $500.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And they've probably been excited for it,
Yeah, you've been waiting all this time. You pre-ordered it. You go to GameStop to pick it up. You get home with it. You open it up, and there's puncture holes in the screen.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts. Now, it's a little weird, though. These things usually come out by the holidays, to try to get the holiday shoppers.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Nintendo was aiming for when they released it in the middle of the summer. You would think it would come out right before Christmas. But, no, it didn't. It's here in June. And, apparently this store in Staten Island didn't have any air conditioning.
Oh, so they weren't using tape because the tape probably, it was so warm inside the store that it wasn't sticking.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. Either that or the kid was sweaty putting it on, and
right.
That's not good either. But the conundrum was solved. GameStop did replace the damaged Switch 2s, but I mean, come on. I mean, did someone get fired over
Oh,
that?
you better believe someone got fired for that.
You think so?
I wonder how many consoles were damaged. We didn't get an exact number, but $500 a piece. I know it was more than one. That's a huge mistake, dude.
I mean, things that what if it was sitting in the back and it fell off a shelf? I mean, those things can happen too.
Well, that can happen too, but they accidentally punctured the screens on this. Luckily, like you said, they did do right by these customers and gave them, but how much money were they out is the question. Someone lost their job over this.
You think so?
I would bet. I would almost bet money on it.
I'm not so sure, but maybe.
I definitely want one. I haven't been really looking for one. I've been to a couple stores. They did not have them, but I kind of like to wait for like the second or third wave of these systems to come out, because a lot of times there's bugs.
Don't they do like software updates for that now?
Well, I guess they could. I didn't really think about that. But still, $500 is a lot to drop on a gaming system. We still have the Switch 1, Like, I don't need two handheld consoles, even though I have probably 10 different ones.
Oh, this one's supposed to have up to 4K 60. It does 120 hertz and 1080.
It's got the OLED screen.
Yeah. So it's pretty powerful.
They did a lot of work that
Screen.
The Joy-Cons, which are the little controllers that snap into the side of the Switch 1, would just pop off at any. They weren't really designed that well, so they redesigned the Joy-Cons. They did, they made it a larger screen. They gave you more RAM and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, that's cool.
That's pretty neat.
And I also heard some rumors of it being hacked and modded already. Now, hacked and modded is when you take their device, load up, hack the system, then load up a bunch of ROM games that, Nintendo doesn't want you doing that. Usually when somebody does that, they do what's called bricking, or they brick the system, which, in a word, makes it as useful as a brick. So Nintendo will go in, they'll just boot you right out of the system. They have the technology to do it, and they don't want you running mods on any of these systems.
No, I'm sure not. I mean, they want you to spend your money with them, don't they?
Yeah, and another thing I noticed, you can't even really buy physical games for it right now. Although they do sell what looks like a physical version. The box, it comes in a box, like a regular game box. You open it, and it's just a downloadable code for said game. I know it comes with Super Mario Kart, but I'm not sure if that's the downloadable version or not. So I'm still on the fence. I'm probably going to get one eventually, but, time will tell.
Well, that'll be cool once you get it. I'd love for you to bring it in, and we can, kind of mess around with it a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Now, Nutter's a big gamer. He's got what do you tell me? I can't even keep up with you.
Well, let's see. I have I like vintage retro games. Not too far back, but
that's old people games for those of you listening.
I have a Nintendo 64. I have a Sega Genesis. I have a PS2. I have an older Xbox. Not sure what model that one is. I rarely play that one, though. I'm more of a PlayStation guy. I have a PS4, and I got a bunch of handheld consoles. I got the Sega Nomad, the Sega Game Gear. I got a Game Boy, the original Game Boy. I have a Game Boy Advance, and I think there's another one. I just can't. PlayStation. What is it? The Vita, the PS Vita.
And you got like the N64 4K coming at some point, or whatever.
That is something I want to talk about when it does come. I pre-ordered. It's an analog version of the Nintendo 64 that plays everything.
A digital version.
Digital. Sorry. It's been so long since I ordered it, but this thing's supposedly really cool. It looks awesome. You can hook it up right into your TV. You don't need an up or down scaler. What is it, an upscaler?
Just like a cross converter, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. But
you just use an HDMI cable.
Right, HDMI right into the TV. You don't need an old school CRV TV, whatever the hell it's called. You could just hook it right into modern technology, and it looks and plays the same and great, from what I'm told. But I will give you reviews once I get it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, Nutter, I think that about wraps us up here. Why don't you tell the folks how they can get in touch with us, and what is it that they can tell us?
Well, you can reach us at info@radioisdead.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Also, check us out on YouTube when we get some videos up there, of course.
Yeah, be sure to follow us on all your social media. Like, subscribe. You can also listen to the podcast on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, YouTube is the number 2 place to listen to podcasts. Number 1, Spotify. Number 2 is YouTube.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, who knew?
Huh.
I might even have that mixed up. YouTube might be number 1. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, you're a number 2.
Yeah, number 3, whatever. More on the Delco Pooper right after this. But yeah, make sure you hit us up. Subscribe on all the platforms. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and check out radioisdead.com. It's kind of in its infancy, radioisdead.com.
It's a work in progress, but it looks great. You did a phenomenal job, dude.
I'm trying. I've never built a website, so don't judge me. If you're a web developer that wants to donate free hours to us, we're more than happy to take you up on that.
Yes, we are.
And then next week, next episode will be out June 19th, and we're going to have our friend Spanish.
Nice.
Worked with him at 93.5 The Bar back in the day. He went on to be a morning radio personality at The Shark, and he's got some good stories. He's big into theme parks, so maybe he can help Nutter out with his Epcot strategy.
I would really enjoy that.
But for now, thanks for listening to Radio is Dead. I'm Kevin.
I'm Nutter.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.